Hi, I'm Duane Gang from the Press Enterprise and PE.com. We have some big political news today. Longtime Congressman Jerry Lewis, a Republican from Redlands, announced that he is not seeking re-election this year. This is big political news because he's a very long-serving congressman from this area, one of the longest serving in the current California delegation. So we're here to discuss what that means for the inland area. Joining me on the phone is Ben Goad, our Washington correspondent. Ben, what does Lewis's announcement today mean for the upcoming races this year? We have newly drawn congressional districts. What does it mean? What's the impact?
Well, Duane, there's two House races directly affected, and already today there was plenty of fallout in both. Lewis's home is in the 31st congressional district, which is the one of them where he might have ran, and that district goes all the way from Redlands to Rancho Cucamonga. There's three Dems already in that race: Russ Warner, a businessman from Rancho Cucamonga, Renee Wickman, a nonprofit founder from Redlands, and just this morning, Redlands Mayor Pete Aguilar got in. On the Republican side, though, everybody was waiting for Lewis. Immediately after the announcement, Gary Miller, a congressman from Diamond Bar, who was already in a tough fight with another incumbent out there, announced he'd slide over and run in San Bernardino County. State Senator Bob Dutton from Rancho also said he might run. Interestingly, Mike Ramos, the district attorney in San Bernardino County, long thought to be Lewis's hand-picked successor, announced that he would not run. Then there's the 8th, which is a big high desert seat where Lewis also could have run. And there was already a handful of candidates back up there, but immediately after Lewis's decision, two more, Assemblyman Paul Cook, a Republican from Yucca Valley, and San Bernardino County Supervisor Brad Mitzelfeld announced for the seat.
Yeah, so Lewis could have made a decision to seek re-election in either of those districts. Was everyone really kind of just waiting because he is kind of the at least among Republicans, kind of the elder statesman, and no one would have wanted to run against him in a primary or in the election?
That's right. Not only did he have the stature, but he had a significant war chest, $700,000 or $800,000, which would have been a difficult road to hoe for any of those other candidates.
Right. Now, Lewis has been in Congress since the late 70s. He's was chairman of the House Appropriations Committee, brought a lot of money into the inland area for defense projects, healthcare projects. What is his departure from Congress going to mean for this area?
Well, to an extent, I think it will mean reduced clout. Lewis, like you mentioned, has been highly successful over the years in getting earmarks, but that power has diminished some in the recent Congress because Republicans passed and Democrats have abided by a moratorium on earmarks, meaning that he's not been able to steer the funding to the area to the extent that he had previously. Now, at the same time, he's still a very senior member of the House Appropriations Committee, which controls government spending. And as chairman emeritus of that panel, he still had influence over spending decisions, notably money to reimburse California for the cost of housing criminal aliens, illegal immigrants. That's something that he worked to get in current spending bills. So he was still making moves, but certainly not to the extent that he had in years past.
Right. I'm also joined by Press Enterprise columnist Cassie MacDuff. Thanks for being here. You've covered the area for a long time and covered Lewis for a long time. First, what was your reaction to his announcement, and also what do you think this means for communities like Redlands, his home base, going forward?
Well, I think like a lot of people in the area, I was surprised. I spoke to him this morning. He said many of his supporters expected that he would serve at least one more term. After all, the Republicans are in the majority in the House. It's a good time to be a Republican in the House. I think, like Ben said, it's going to be a tremendous reduction in clout for the area. A new freshman congressman, if someone who's not in Congress now is elected to that district, will start at the bottom of the seniority pile. And Lewis's seniority has meant a lot in terms of clout for the area and visibility for the area.
You both spoke with him today. Cassie, did he kind of hint at some of his reasoning? Was it because of the climate in Washington, the partisanship? Did any of that play a factor in his announcement, in his decision not to seek re-election?
Well, he did tell me it has been very frustrating as Congress has become increasingly partisan. His style was always to reach across the aisle to Democrats to gain support, reach agreement, reach compromises that are beneficial, and achieve the goals of both parties. And that has become increasingly impossible, and that, he said, is very frustrating.
Right. What do you see? Of course, this is a story that's breaking and kind of still unfolding, and we're still trying to get a sense for what it will really mean for the region. What do you think it's going to mean for some residents and voters out there? I mean, he's been a fixture in this community for decades.
Well, even people outside the area are saying that it's going to leave a big hole in the delegation for California. I spoke to Henry Waxman, a senior Democrat of the California delegation, and a friend and a colleague of Lewis's for many years, and he said it's going to be a great loss for California. Lewis has been a leader in terms of air quality initiatives, as well as the kind of projects that Ben mentioned.
Ben, let me turn to you as we finish up here. What are his plans? I mean, of course, he'll serve out the remainder of this term in Congress, but what are his plans? What are you hearing? Is he going to return back here to the Redlands area to kind of retire? I mean, what's your sense?
Well, he hasn't decided. Look, there's a year left, like you said, and he said he wants to focus on the business of the Appropriations Committee and the business before him in that year. He has every intention, he said, of keeping both of his residents. He has a home here in D.C. as well as one back in Redlands. But he said he wants to kick back and smell the roses a little bit. He's got grandchildren that he wants to spend time with, and I think he's going to reassess. In terms of whether he will continue working, he did not say, and I'm not sure that he's decided, but he is saying right now that he is stepping away from public life after 46 years.
Right. Well, Ben, thanks for joining us on the phone from Washington. Cassie, also, thank you very much for being here. Of course, you can read all about Jerry Lewis and his career in Congress, spanning many decades, on PE.com, as well as in tomorrow's Press Enterprise. And also, this is we're talking politics today. The Press Enterprise will be launching later this month a weekly political show right here on PE.com. So stay tuned for details on that. So thanks for watching. I'm Duane Gang.